Okay, hello. I finally finished a sketchbook for like the first time in years, so I wanted to kind of show a tour of whatever it is that it's in here and talk about some of the pieces. This is my first like long form video with like an actual camera and recording audio and doing all like the YouTuber things. So if it comes out a little janky, give me grace. I'm still figuring all of this out. So let's get started. So I didn't actually decorate the front of this sketchbook this time because I don't know, I filled it up so quickly. I was like, instead of putting it on the front, let's put stuff in here so we can actually fill up a sketchbook. So let's get started. So this piece right here was how I started this sketchbook. It was done the day before my birthday, which is January 1st. I don't know, I had this idea in my head for a while and I wanted to actually put it on paper without worrying about how it would turn out. I just basically, the goal of this sketchbook was to have fun and for me to fall back in love with the process of making art and creating art without the giant stigma that I put on having to make everything look nice. And I think it turned out pretty well. Okay, so this next, excuse the random pieces of paper, this next one right here was just me figuring out color palettes for my OCs for a story that I have not named yet that I want to make eventually. So I wanted them to have contrasting like temperature colors so that they stand out next to each other, but also so that they go well. This was just me doing some warm-up sketches of me, and you can tell as I started warming up it got better and better. This was an outfit that I wore to the Ren Fair. More papers. This was made right when Welcome to Derry was airing. I love that TV show. I watched it like 4 times. I love me a good cosmic horror and alien threat, so of course I had to draw the main attraction. He's literally so fun to draw. I love drawing like odd looking kooky characters in contrast to my love for also drawing really put together and cutesy characters. This is some sketches that I did not finish. There's some of that in here where, you know, this is me learning how to fill up a sketchbook and use it as a sketchbook and not like treating it like it's something I'm submitting to a goddamn museum. This was me deciding that I do a lot of this, okay? Some might call it immature, but it's where it gets my creative juices flowing. I watched Welcome to Derry and I really wanted to make a character based around the concept of a bunch of the fact that there's just aliens in what I call the Stephen King verse. So this was me drawing this out. This was a drawing that I did based on something I saw on Pinterest that I thought looked really cool, and it was like this, I guess it was a ball jointed doll. Either way, I loved the colors and I thought the outfit was really cute and fun. And this is around here is where I started using my alcohol markers as, you know, God intended or whatever, and just having fun making the lines loose and, you know, figuring out shapes and colors and not making myself have to do a fully rendered piece for me to consider it good and or done. I found out throughout the sketchbook that I enjoy drawing looser things, even if that might not be the most popular to people who are outwardly viewing my art. I had fun making it, so to me this was a good turning point and like a success. This is my OCs again. I wanted to draw them recreating that iconic painting, you know, The Kiss, and I was nervous about this. Again, this was me figuring out that it doesn't matter. I could just draw loosely and figure out the poses in alcohol markers. I hardly used any pencil in this sketchbook, which is a big deal for me because I used to get really caught up on making sure that every line and every shading and rendering was perfect. So I was really happy with this. This is me drawing more of the clown. I'm sorry, I absolutely adore his character design, and this is me and my how I draw me and my friend, and interacting with the fact that I absolutely adore this character. More of me making a OC for the Stevie King verse, because I was feeling the creative juices, and I was like, you know what, this is what I'm fixated on, this is what I want to draw, this is how I keep my wrist moving and don't get art block, then I'm just gonna flow with it. To be cringe is to be free, and there's like a more of it here. This is another one of my OCs. I'm not gonna quite share names yet because I'm still figuring it out, but she is very important and part of the story. And then this this is where I really started getting inspired, because I watched season 1 of Gachi Yakuza, and I was like, oh, I have to make an OC, because the concept really stuck with me. I thought it was so fun, and I had to make me one. So this one's based off of me. I have this really old, really ratty, cheap teddy bear that I've had since I was like a fetus. The thing is like over 2 decades old, and I was like, oh, that would be my vital instrument. So here's me trying to figure out how exactly that would work. I still haven't figured out what I want the vital instrument to turn into when it's being utilized, but ideas. This is an abandoned sketch of another one of my OCs that I didn't finish because I was drawing this out, I think, and I didn't have the colors that I wanted, so I got frustrated. And so I drew a mermaid instead while I was waiting for class. There's absolutely nothing to say about this. I just wanted to draw a mermaid, and I used fun colors. This was also drawn that same day where I was out and at class, and I, again, was just trying to keep my wrist flowing and stop questioning if what I wanted to draw was worth or, you know, being put in my sketchbook. I just drew it. Just draw it. That's my thing. That's my big lesson that I learned. Just draw it, and it doesn't matter. This was script for a comic that I posted about things in the state of affairs when you walk outside your door, and this is basically the comic. I think I have it. I posted it, so if you want to see that, go ahead. This was also something that I drew I started drawing when I was in class, and I didn't finish coloring it because guess what? I didn't feel like it. The spark left, and I feel like I put enough of the concept on paper for me to be satisfied with it. So I did this, colored it bare bones, and I moved on. This is, again, another OC, as a reference to a very famous painting. I feel like I don't need to say what it is, but just know that it fits him in his narrative. This is more me trying to figuring out that Gachi Yakuza OC that I wanted to draw because I was obsessed with the hair as nooses. I'm obsessed with the concept of having so much hair and using hair as like a physical clothing or an accessory. I think it's so cool. Then I had to skip pages here because this is a cheap sketchbook. I don't have the funds for the fancy marker paper, so I had to glue some pages together and skip some pages because of the ink. This was just a drawing that I didn't bother filling up the page because I didn't want to. I used a reference for Pinterest for this. It was like Art Nouveau, and I just wanted to draw a lot of hair and some clothing and have fun. This is Huntress Wizard, because I don't know if you know this about me, I absolutely adore Adventure Time, and I adore the female characters in Adventure Time. I think they're so cool. So I think there's like 2 more of me drawing them in my style in here, and this was me drawing Huntress Wizard. I think this was around the time where Fiona and Cake Season 2 came out. But I appreciated seeing her on my screen again. This is my little my little art sona that I use to represent myself in my sketchbooks, and I got some new boots that I bought after wearing my last ones into the ground like they were falling apart, and I just wanted to do some quick little doodles of me and my new boots. Here we go, more adventure time. This is me again. I start playing more with colors and Ohuhu markers in a looser style. This is me drawing Princess Bubblegum, who would never run a police state because, you know, she has her quirks. And this is me drawing her. This next one was Flame Princess. Here, I wanted to get more creative with the color palette. I didn't like how it turned out, so I redrew her. This, I didn't finish. And I might revisit this concept in the sketchbook that I'm working on now. But it's me as a serval, because I got told by my friend that if I was an animal, I would be a serval. And I wanted to draw a sort of anthropomorphized version of myself. Call it furry art, whatever. I just think it's cool. I love drawing funny looking characters. This is a drawing of a bearded vulture because, once again, I think that they look cool. And I really like how I use the colors in this one. Instead of just going for black, I decided to do purples. And I feel like it gave the drawing a lot of character. You're probably noticing that I kind of treat my sketchbooks like a journal, and sometimes I'll write thoughts and little fun facts around it because I like how it looks. I feel like it makes my sketchbook look like more me. This is script for another comic that I haven't posted because I'm still working on it. So we're gonna skip past that really quick. Some sketches I did of an OC. I started trying to use pencil again here, and you see how I got really caught up in all the lines and how things are supposed to look, and I ended up getting frustrated and I didn't finish it. So what did I do? Turn the page. I got me some Sharpie markers that are very bright and colorful, and I just kind of let it flow and stopped focusing specifically on details, and instead I wanted to focus on color. So this is trying to figure out my OC's face and hair. This is the color palette that I figured out that I really wanted for her or them. It's complicated. Well, eventually it'll be explained. And these are two pieces of paper that I glued together because the paper's thin, the paper's cheap. It don't matter. This was me just, again, trying to follow the flow of creativity. And I wanted to draw Draculaura from Monster High. So I was like, how would I design her and draw her outfit if I had been the one to make her character? So this is kind of what I ended up doing. I ended up not finishing it. Maybe we'll revisit that concept later on in another sketchbook because I enjoy making fun outfits for characters themed on their personalities and such. This was me because I previously had like a very big undercut and locks at the top. Call it the Killmonger cut if you want. I know. I got tired of it. So I shaved my hair off, and I, filled a page about me shaving my hair off and how much I loved it, and I just doodled myself here. This I didn't finish because I got frustrated about the colors and the background. I know I need to work on backgrounds. And this was based off of a weird dream that I had. I also didn't finish this because I got frustrated about the colors and the background. And then here, I was thinking about Pokemon. I also, surprise, surprise, I also really love Pokemon. And I was drawing how I would dress if I was a gym leader or a Pokemon trainer. Of course, I would use ghost types. I love ghost types. To me, ghost types are the best. It doesn't ignore the stats or whatever. I love ghost types. They're my favorite of all time, and they will always be my favorite. So here's me having fun with my markers and like layering the sketches on top of each other, and I thought it looked pretty cool. This I also did not finish. I know, but it's a sketchbook, and it was me kind of drawing what my team would be if I was a ghost type gym leader or just a trainer in the Pokemon universe. I really love the big sleeves. I've learned that I love a good silhouette. Big shoes, big sleeves, big hair, anything that makes a a striking silhouette, I'm like, absolutely yes. So here's that. This is more me drawing circles because I think they're cute and they're cool. There was some bleeding from this page onto this page, and I just kind of went with it. More of that Gachiakata OC because again, obsessed with the noose braid pigtails. This didn't finish. Here we go. This is a doodle of me that I didn't finish because I got bored and I wanted to draw Claudia. I wanted to draw Claudia because I also love Interview with a Vampire. I'm scared for season 3, but you know, and it was me trying to figure out how I wanted to. This is Delaney's version. How I wanted to capture her likeness in my style. I struggle with that a little bit, I will admit, but I think I did sort of decent here. You can see me playing around with proportions and all that. This was a drawing that I remember that I have colored pencils and I can use those to help render. And I drew, again, my OC with no background because I don't know what to do for backgrounds. Maybe I'll come back to this and finish it, but I really like how the hair rendering turned out and the blackness of the wings in comparison to her very warm and like bright and lively colors. This was me trying to figure out if I wanted to change the eyes on my Artsona. I still don't know about that. We will see. And this is more me sketching. I was still stuck on the big sleeves and the big shoes. I'm still stuck on big sleeves and big shoes. This was me warming up and using highlighters and stuff to draw. I went on Pinterest and I saw a bunch of stuff and I saw stuff that I liked, so I drew it in my style. I really loved how this eye turned out. I'm still figuring out how I want to draw eyes, and I loved how this hair turned out. I wanted to give an outfit to this, and then here I started. I watched the Amazing Digital Circus episode 8, and I was like, I finally got bit by the bug. I wanted to make my own character. So I took some highlighters and I went a little crazy. I kind of made this character, you know, based off of those vintage like pulley cats. I don't know, I thought it would just be fun, and like those, you know, ball jointed marionettes. I thought it would be cute. And I feel like, because I don't know how to skate, and I just thought it would be really funny if a person spawned in with wheels, permanent wheels on the back of their heels and hands, and they had absolutely no balance and had to figure it out themselves. And I also put that they'd be made of wood, and the tail is supposed to look like the pulley for like those like little roller cats. This was more of that OC and figuring out proportions. And the little cane, I adore him. He's so cute. Bring him back, please. This was more sketches of, I just wanted to draw a buzz cut, and I wanted to draw this outfit that I saw on Pinterest. And again, the big shoes. I like a big shoe. This I didn't finish, but I might return to it. It was going to be like some sort of, I don't know, a Dark Souls boss. I don't know what I was feeling like or who I was feeling like, but I drew it. I got it out of my head. I didn't finish this because I didn't like the pose. This was going to be Marceline. She's like my favorite Adventure Time character. So when I really adore a character, I do this thing. I don't know if you know it. I get in my head about how I draw them. And to me, this wasn't good enough for me. And then here, I had this idea for a character, and I was looking on Pinterest, and I couldn't find anything that I liked. So I started out, you know, when you're an artist, if you can't find the visual you're looking for, you make it yourself. And that's how these next few pages are made. So I was finding a face that I really liked, and then, again, I had to skip the pages because they were bleeding through and I never glued them together. This is where I was trying to figure out the face and hair. It's like a merman, but if they were a cephalopod instead of a fish. and I had a lot of fun drawing the hair and outlining and making the face cute. This is, I'm calling it done because I'm calling it done because I don't want to work on it anymore. And I know if I continue to work on it, I'm going to end up ruining it, or I'm going to end up hating the piece. And you know, part of art is that you gotta learn to let go. So I let it go too. So it's finished. This is this character sort of rendered with alcohol marker and Prismacolor pencil. And I do like the idea that he changes color, but I do kind of wish I'd drawn him less red, and I wish I would have went with more of a green and cool tones. And then this is just some faces on Pinterest that I was practicing drawing and stylizing. Out of all of them, this one is actually my favorite because I like drawing more striking features and unique faces. And then this was just another outfit that I found on Pinterest that I wanted to draw, and this is me doing a second outfit. I might come back to this because I really like this outfit. Again, for my story, I'm trying to look for ideas for architecture and, you know, settings and fashion that I think would go into the story. And that's how I finished it. Yeah, that's about it. This sketchbook really helped me fall in love with the creative process again after like not treating it as something to be enjoyed for like years on years, because to me I felt like it was the only thing, a little personal, I felt like it was the only thing I was like actually good at. So I kind of got into my head that absolutely everything needed to be perfect and everything needed to look exactly like this or exactly like that. And now my frontal lobe has developed, and it's good art. So if you needed a message to pick up the pen or the highlighter or the oil pastel or whatever you use and just absolutely go crazy, this is your message and your sign. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching, and I'll continue to post short form content and the occasional long form content if I can find something that I think is worth making a video about. But yeah, first completed sketchbook in years. Bye now.